Discover how the first typewriter, invented by Christopher Sholes in 1868, changed the game for writers like Mark Twain and Ernest Hemingway. Christopher Sholes invented the first practical typewriter in 1868, revolutionizing writing forever. Mark Twain was the first famous author to adopt the typewriter, using it to write Life on the Mississippi. Early typewriters were prone to jamming, earning them the nickname literary treadmills. Ernest Hemingway, a prolific typist, could write up to 500 words per day on his trusty Royal Portable. The Remington No. 1, released in 1874, was the first commercially produced typewriter, priced at $125. By the 1,920 over 10 million typewriters were sold worldwide, making writing more accessible to the masses. Explore the mysterious story of the Republic of Bane, a micronation established in 2008, which lasted only a few years. In 2008, a micronation called the Republic of Bane was established, sparking curiosity worldwide. The Republic of Bane was founded by Ryan C. Rome, a self-proclaimed supreme leader with a vision. Located on a rural property in Alabama, USA, the micronation covered about 2.5 acres of land. The Republic of Bane had its own government, currency, and even a national anthem, symbolizing its independence. Despite its ambitious start, the micronation struggled with internal conflicts and financial issues, leading to its decline. By 2012, the Republic of Bane was abandoned, leaving behind a fascinating, albeit short-lived, chapter in micronation history. In the NFL, a false start is called when a player moves before the ball is snapped, but did you know that this rule can be misapplied if a player is simply adjusting their stance or reacting to a defensive player's movement, leading to some disputed calls and costly penalties? A false start in football is called when a player moves before the ball is snapped. The NFL rulebook defines a false start as any movement by a player simulating the start of a play. Players are allowed to adjust their stance or react to defensive movement without penalty. A key factor in determining a false start is whether the player's movement was sudden and abrupt. False start penalties can be costly, often resulting in a 5-yard penalty and a first down. Meet the ASME, American Society of Mechanical Engineers, team responsible for setting strict elevator safety codes. The ASME sets elevator safety codes used in over 100 countries worldwide. The ASME's elevator code is updated every 4 years to reflect new safety standards. Elevator manufacturers must comply with ASME codes to ensure public safety. ASME-certified inspectors verify elevators meet strict safety guidelines. Elevators undergo rigorous testing, including load testing and safety brake checks. The ASME's codes and inspections help prevent elevator accidents and save lives. Join me as I explore how nuclear meltdowns are portrayed in popular video games like Fallout, STAL, KER, and Chernobyl, Untold Stories, and how they compare to real-life events. The first video game to feature a nuclear meltdown was 1985's Wasteland, a post-apocalyptic RPG. Fallout's Vault-Tec vaults were inspired by real-life Cold War-era underground bunkers. STAL, KER, Chernobyl Exclusion Zone, is based on the real-life 1986 disaster, with similar geography and landmarks. Chernobyl, Untold Stories is the only game to consult with real-life Chernobyl cleanup workers for authenticity. Nuclear meltdowns in games often exaggerate radiation effects for gameplay purposes, unlike real-life events. Unravel the enigma of the Mary Celeste, found adrift in the Bermuda Triangle with no signs of foul play or natural disaster, and discover the bizarre clues that have puzzled experts for over a century. The Mary Celeste, a merchant ship, set sail from New York to Genoa on the 7th of November 1872 with a crew of 7. On the 5th of December 1872, the Mary Celeste was found adrift in the Bermuda Triangle with no signs of struggle or damage. All personal belongings, including valuables, were still intact, with only one lifeboat missing, suggesting a sudden and mysterious departure. The ship's logbook and navigation equipment were still in place, but the clock and compass were damaged, indicating a possible chaotic exit. Discover the intriguing story of Adolf Hitler's art collection, which included over 1,500 paintings stolen from Jewish families during World War II. Adolf Hitler was an aspiring artist, rejected from Vienna's Academy of Fine Arts twice in 1907 and 1908. Hitler's art collection, known as the Führer Museum, was meant to showcase European art masterpieces in Linz, Austria. Over 1,500 paintings were stolen from Jewish families during World War II, including works by Monet, Renoir, and Cézanne. The Nazis plundered art from prominent Jewish collectors, such as the Rothschilds and the Gutmans, to fill Hitler's collection. Some stolen artworks were hidden in salt mines and castles, while others were sold to fund Nazi war efforts. From Mozart to Beethoven, many famous composers were math whizzes. Many famous composers, like Mozart and Beethoven, were skilled in math and music from a young age. The Fibonacci sequence appears in music compositions, creating pleasing and balanced patterns. Mathematical concepts like symmetry and geometry are used in musical compositions and instrument design. The harmonic series, a mathematical phenomenon, explains why certain sound frequencies sound pleasing together. Music notation is, in essence, a mathematical language, using symbols and patterns to convey sound. The connection between music and math enabled composers to innovate and create timeless masterpieces. The EU's Single-Use Plastics Directive aims to reduce marine litter and microplastic pollution by banning single-use plastics like straws, bags, and cutlery. The EU's Single-Use Plastics Directive aims to reduce marine litter and microplastic pollution by 2025. The directive bans single-use plastics like straws, bags, and cutlery by 2021 in some EU countries. Microplastics in oceans harm marine life, with 90% of seabirds ingesting plastic by 2050 predicted. The directive also targets producers, making them responsible for waste management and recycling costs. You can advocate for change by choosing reusable alternatives and supporting plastic-free policies locally. Together, we can create a microplastic-free future with 8 million tons less plastic waste annually. Step into the Victorian era, where sugar became a status symbol and the wealthy indulged in extravagant sugar displays, fueling a cultural phenomenon that shaped British society and cuisine. During the Victorian era, sugar was a rare and expensive luxury only the wealthy could afford. The Industrial Revolution made mass-producing sugar possible, increasing availability and fueling British obsession. Sugar sculptures, called sugar plate, became a status symbol, showcasing hosts' wealth and hospitality. Afternoon tea, popularized by Queen Victoria, featured extravagant sugar displays and became a social phenomenon. The working class's newfound access to sugar led to a significant increase in sugar consumption and dental problems.